Good day, my Telos podcast friends. Today we have a very wide-ranging show, possibly the most wide-ranging show we've ever had on the Telos podcast. We're talking about data token, sand token, pegged Telos tokens, proof of location, Scottbot, Golos, challenge DAC, and all kinds of worker proposals that the man, the legend himself, Zach, you may see him in Telegram as Sand. He is coming on the podcast and he's connecting the dots between BitShares, Steemit, EOS and Telos, and just kind of a beautiful thing here. You are going to learn something new in this podcast, I promise. As always, this is brought to you by the wonderful community at Crown DAC. They're having a DAC-a-thon. They've already had a DAC-a-thon as well, and they're doing big things. Throw your name in the comments section or hit up Sand, and we will throw you some Crown tokens for participating in the show. And also, this is sponsored by hybrid.games, our wonderful sound engineer, Scott. Thank you. Without further ado, let us get into this epic Telos podcast with Zach.
You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain.
The Telos Podcast.
You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Okay, well, I want to have TipIt to replace Cash App's and PayPal's function. So, like, we got PayPal, which is just fiat money. Everybody uses PayPal, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually have EOSDT, a stable coin, on TipIt, Twitter already has TipIt. You can then use that as like PayPal. Every Twitter account will now be able to send and receive a stable coin. And we're trying to get Telos to have EOSDT. But this is just an example. This is the first example. There's a lot of talks about Telos having a stable coin. But let's just talk about EOSDT, because that's the EOS stable coin. It's got like millions of EOS ready to go, backing its stable coin. It's got a really interesting system. And imagine if you could just send money right through any Twitter account and it was a stable coin. Right now, we can already do that.
Yeah.
I've got EOS, we got Steem P, got a bunch of tokens on Twitter, on TipIt, and you can already send them. And so if we just get the other altcoins like BTC pegged, which would be BTCP, which I'm trying to get EOS BTCP and Telos BTCP, and we'll have Bitcoin, we'll have Litecoin pegged. I'll even have Bitcoin Cash, and because we have BCHP on Steam Engine. So all those Steam Engine pegs will be on EOS and Telos, and then also on TipIt and Nudex.
So what was that drama with Jack Dorsey and that guy tweeting about like a TipIt on Twitter and what he have built?
Okay,
actually?
So they're just doing the inevitable, and I'm just trying to take advantage of my opportunity here to show I was first, but I have to get EOS BTCP on EOS so I can get it on TipIt. Also, TipIt's going to have Telos, but the drama is they're trying to say that they have Bitcoin on Twitter first. If I can get EOS BTCP and I can get PrivX awake and get some guy 123 to make that token for me and get it on TipIt and then list it on Nudex, I will be first. We will have the first Bitcoin on Twitter that is actually withdrawable. There's other Bitcoin Twitter bots, but nothing like we would have, where you actually have a decentralized system that is backed up by Bitcoin that you can withdraw from a blockchain.
So this is running on Telos EOSio and a TipIt bot and why can they extract Bitcoin?
Because we have Steem Engine backing the Bitcoin with BTCP, and you can withdraw the Bitcoin. Now, I do want to make it more based on Telos with the Bitcoin without needing Steem Engine.
Mm-hmm.
But Steem Engine system already works, and we got Bitcoin backed by Steem. The BTCP is backed by Bitcoin. You can go on Steem Engine, you can withdraw it. You can do it without any buttons. You can just do it with memos and transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So the bots will be set up to where you can withdraw the Bitcoin for the 1% fee directly in the Twitter bot. But right now you have to go on steamengine.com and click the withdraw button or send a transaction with the right memo. But basically, the drama is just that they are adding, they're trying to say that they're going to be the first to tip over Twitter. Now, that had nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's just people assume Bitcoin would be the one he's using because he's got Cash App and he likes Bitcoin. But I'm worried
Dorsey
that
has Cash App?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good that he's promoting Bitcoin and everything. But he's a billionaire. I'm never going to get his attention unless I can actually show people that I was first, that we were first, that we had Twitter TipIt, and we've already been sending tips. People try to say, oh, BAT tokens are already on Twitter. That's not true. BAT tokens are not really, it's like you don't even get paid. You have to do KYC to get your 2 cents worth of tips. And even if you do KYC and get this, what's it called, some weird bank system they have, even if you do that, they dole out your money and you never get paid. Like I still am owed a lot of money from the BAT token people. And this is like BAT tokens they were supposed to pay me. And then you don't even get to cash them out. You have to like use them as a tip to tip other people. So I tip myself with these tokens they were supposedly supposed to pay me for using their BAT browser, right? So anyway, it's a whole thing. They try to act like you can tip people on Twitch and Twitter, but I'm calling out BAT browser right now. It's fraudulent, dude. I would never give people money and say that they're paid and then never pay them. That's fraud to me. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but the BAT browser is a joke. They got a bunch of people to use the browser. It breaks down, doesn't work with like Gmail and stuff, and they stop supporting it, and they tell people it's better than Chrome. No, dude, it's just a Chrome browser. They took out the ads. They put BAT token in. We could do that. Telos could have that. We've been talking about the Steem browser for a long time to replace BAT because Gab.ai wanted to replace BAT with Bitcoin and just have the Gab browser. Anyway, Telos could actually pull it off. Steem could never really do these large-scale organizational things that Telos is doing, but we could actually have people replacing that BAT browser like Gab.ai with Telos. And anyway, the whole point is you don't have tips on Twitter. That they tried to say that like, oh, we're going to be able to send tips on Twitter, like, and people said BAT browser already has it. You don't really have it yet, except for TipIt. So yeah, the whole drama is that Twitter is trying to like, talk about tips, and we already had it. And I'm just, I get really passionate about it because I did all this work to promote the idea of tipping on Twitter, but because it's only EOS, that's why people don't take it seriously, because TipIt is just EOS. Hopefully getting Telos on there helps, but the real big thing is getting Bitcoin pegged, getting that.
So we get Telos as tipping on Twitter, and then you get a pegged BTC on Nudex so that you can withdraw through Nudex. Is that what you're saying? Is that basically like?
No, you'll be able to cash it out through Nudex and sell it. Withdrawing is on Steem Engine. You can withdraw it to Bitcoin on Steem Engine through the Steem blockchain. So the Steem blockchain is like the Steem blockchain acts as like Lightning Network's, what's it called? System for settlements. It's like why use an off-chain settlement system, however that works, when you can just use a blockchain to settle your Bitcoin.
Okay, so tell me kind of the user experience. If someone tips Telos on Twitter, the user experience of how to withdraw that into cash.
Okay, well, all you have to do is DM the bot. You can just go on TipIt.io, and they have a really nice user experience that's like it looks just like the front end that Mike Cassavant guy posted, or whatever that guy's name was, that posted this little drama about, well, I made it a drama about tipping on Twitter. It's actually really good news. I'm just trying to create some,
Oh, you got to create hype, man. You got to go for the marketing. You got to get it out there, get the word out. Telos needs it.
Well, yeah, because he's talking about, we're going to finally have tips on Twitter, and I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there tipping people all day, and it's like, what the hell, man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did this first. So anyway, the experience is really easy when you go on TipIt.io, because you can send, you can deposit. Soon you'll be able to actually withdraw from TipIt.io, but right now, the withdrawals are actually done through the bot, which is really nice. You just DM the bot. So imagine you're DMing a friend on Twitter. That's just the same experience. You just DM the bot, and you type .withdraw, the token amount, and then the EOS username, or later the Telos username. Telos is being added. We do actually have Telos on TipIt right now through Telos P, which is a peg of Telos, but that's on EOS. That's a token that I got created through Steem Engine that it's backed through Telos P, which is the peg of Telos. So it's like a peg of a peg of a peg. It's like nested pegs, but it all works really good because you have Steem Engine, which has got the Telos P on Steem. So you got Telos backed Steem tokens, Telos P. I made that through PrivX and Steem Engine. They deployed that into EOS Telos P. So we got Telos on EOS. That's going to be listed on Nudex. I'm just waiting for the gateway to be a little faster, because right now takes a little while to deposit and withdraw the tokens. It's actually faster on Telos than it is with the EOS tokens. But anyway, the point is you will be able to go on Nudex. You'll be able to buy Telos with just an EOS account. That token is on TipIt, and you can tip that right now. We will have mainnet Telos on TipIt too. But yeah, you just go, the user experience, you just go into the DMs and you just withdraw your token, and that's it. And you can even do trivia soon. We're going to have stuff where you can tip your followers. It's not done yet, but it's under research. Like imagine you could click a button and pay some EOS as a fee for like, TipIt Plus, and then you get a feature like automatically tip my followers every month with this amount of token. You get people following you just to get that token.
That's interesting. So let's say you've got if you're getting tips, let's say you have a EOS account, but you don't have a Telos account. You get tipped in Telos. It goes into the TipIt bot. Where's that money? What's the wallet? Who holds that money for you? Who has control over that?
It's the TipIt account. So it's called TipIt account.
Okay.
TipIt. Yeah, it's the TipIt guys. They own that account. Now, that is a very interesting topic, though. Like who's the custodian, right? And I've talked about using EOS DAC, Telos DAC to have multi-sig accounts, like 12 people holding the keys for an account that would be like the bank vault. And there's all sorts of ideas like that. There's ways to actually, on Steem engine, you can actually hold your own keys for the EOSio token. So if you want to deposit Telos or EOS tokens, or any EOS or Telos token on Steem engine, you can actually hold that key yourself, and that's all on the Steem engine GitHub with the PrivX coin handler information. I have a post on Steemit. If you just go on Google, you type in Steemit AXA Steem engine is open source. You'll find it as the first result, and it's got all the links that the PrivX guys showed me. And basically, you can hold your own EOSio coins when you deposit them. So you don't have to trust anybody else as a custodian when you're at least depositing it in the Steem engine. Now with the TipIt stuff, yeah, there is it's like a hot wallet. It's like a custodial wallet. There's going to be all sorts of questions about, how TipIt would handle, governments wanting to take the money out, or KYC and AML and all that. But the TipIt guys are pretty solid professionals that have had experience in the whole Silicon Valley area. I get that vibe from them. They've been in this since the 90s, and they're older, and some of them are, some like Mark, and they got experience, and they got a good idea of how to stay below the radar and not have to get regulated. And maybe one day we'll find out that you have to have a minimum amount in your tip. Maybe they'll only allow you to have less than $1,000 or something to avoid, KYC stuff. Who knows? But there's definitely going to be some questions about who owns that account. But yeah, it's the TipIt account. I think it's TipIt ACCO. I think that's the exact account name. But yeah, that's where it all goes. And you have a memo, so you actually can deposit that stuff with a memo that you can get from the bot, which wasn't always the case. You had to just get a deposit link with Scatter. But yeah, they got the TipIt.io. You can log in with Scatter or links, or you can just deposit with a memo. And yeah, it's really fun for me because it's like stuff we've been doing on Steem, and now we get to do it on EOS. And I helped write Telos proposal for TipIt to come to Telos for I think 50,000 or so Telos. And I really hope that they make another. I'm talking about making a new proposal, because as soon as people see what Telos TipIt is going to do for Telos, giving us Twitter, just that alone will be worth it. And other people have made other proposals that I think if they make those proposals for that much, I think TipIt deserves another 50 or even 100,000 Telos for the next month. Once people see, of course, the report and this new proposal, I'm going to show all the different things that Telos can now do, like Discord and Twitch and Twitter tips. And we're going to get SMS and email and eventually Reddit and hopefully they're talking in discussion, but Facebook, it might be a little harder. Imagine Facebook Telos tips, man. Yeah.
Going big, man. So you've had one successful worker proposal for 50,000 Telos to get TipIt on Telos. Is that right?
Well, that was TipIt's proposal.
That was TipIt's proposal. Okay. Did you help with that? Yeah.
Well, I helped write it. I basically was like, here, I suggested it and helped write the first draft. And then Mark went and, made a more professional looking draft and then posted it onto their account, because I thought I'd be making too many proposals. They should just post it onto their account. I could have posted it and had the recipient go right to them, like I've done with other Steem engine posts, like my proposal that got Telos P posted to Steem Engine, and then the other proposal that got the ability to create Telos tokens. And that I'm going to make a better front end for. You can go on tokens.telosnow.org, and there's a form where you can already use to request to make any Steem Engine token into a Telos token, just like I said I would have in the proposal.
Okay,
And
so that proposal was accepted. How much was that proposal?
I think, well, that went all to Steem Engine X.
That was for Steem Engine X. Okay, so
you've been a
middleman on both those.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like the middleman, and I'm just trying to show people, like, I'm being valuable, and then hopefully I'll be able to make my own proposals like I've been doing. But yeah, the Steem Engine X one, I think that was like, it was like Telos I think it was a lot less than it is now, like, because Telos was like it was close to like 10 cents. I think it was only like 10,000 or 15,000, something like that. It wasn't that much, and that was the whole point, that I could get a lot done for a little.
Yeah. Well, that's important. These worker proposals. That's what people are talking about now. As we get more and more worker proposals, how do we make sure that they're very and that people are forced to kind of bootstrap and make something, get some bang for buck out of the Telos. So you've got other ones.
Crazy.
What other proposals you got going on?
Okay, well, I got the Telos P basically for 12,500 Telos for the actual thing I was just talking about, Telos P on EOS. Like, I got it all created. I paid for the tokens to be minted on Steem Engine and everything, the deployment, paid for the 30 EOS that is needed for EOS RAM to create an EOS token and a new contract and all that. So I got the Telos token backed by Telos on EOS, and I've got proposal ready to go that it's actually already winning, which is good, because all that money is going to go into an airdrop for Steemians, and it's going to go into listing and airdrops for new decks. So a bunch of people on new decks in EOS accounts will get Telos. So people won't even need a Telos account. That's going to be the big thing. It's like you're going to be able to go on EOS, buy Telos, go on new decks with an EOS account, and just buy Telos. You won't even. That's a big obstacle, getting that Squirrel account, getting another. People don't want to get another chain; they just want to buy it on EOS. So I'm giving them that option.
Wallets, yeah, okay, that's cool.
And there's another proposal coming up that I'm not going to post until I have the results from this one. I'm going to post it actually very soon. Now I actually have the results. So I posted something yesterday. I did airdrop 16,000 Steemians. I think it's up to like 4,000 or 5,000 right now. It's going pretty fast. Are getting 0.01 Telos P. So 16,000 Steem users are going to get a little bit of Telos. And then I'm going to post the results of that into a new proposal that is going to be for 26,000 Telos, which is like, what is that? Like
$2,000 somewhere.
Well, almost.
I don't know what the price is, but yeah.
Well, the price is close to like 5 cents now.
Oh,
so I
okay,
like the rule of thumb is like 10,000 Telos is like $500. So but it is close to that. Yeah, it's like 1,500 or. But anyway, the point is that money is going to go into an airdrop. So out of that 26,000 Telos, 16,600 or something for the 1% fee. 16,000 Telos are going to be deposited into the Steem Engine. So there's going to be a new supply of 16,000 Telos on Steem Engine that are then going to be airdropped, just like I'm doing now, that have proven it already works, except this time it's going to be ratcheted up from 0.01 to 1. 16,000 top Steem accounts, and that's a snapshot we've taken a while ago. That's like people who have 200 Steem power and like 50 rep or something. It's basically like all the people that you need to airdrop here. It's like if you do more than that, it starts to get diminishing return. But anyway, the point is we're gonna have 16,000 people on Steem and these are Steem people that have money. They get money coming in from the reward pool. They can buy Telos with that. They're each gonna get one Telos token. I think that's going to be a really good thing for Telos to just constantly have people coming in from Steem now, because they're all going to get that one Telos.
Man, okay. So what other? You've got a couple other things going on. What's up with D-Date?
All right. So D-Date. Here, look, I got the thing open right here.
Oh, nice.
And that's my ddate.co Discord. And so I got my junior developer. Rats in Venezuela, who I've already paid for his first month of working out of D-Date from this proposal funds, because he's already done such good work for me to get basically this front end developed. So he's been helping me get the website, the WordPress look really fancy, really nice, getting mock-ups done of actual bots that'll actually help with the dating. So what I was talking to you with I wish we recorded that, but I was talking to you with before we start talking about the D-Date bot that we're developing.
Yeah.
So there's this existing bot that we have called the it's an existing bot that I found called Hot or Bot, t.me/hot or bot. It's like a Telegram bot. You can type it in Telegram, Hot or Bot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Hot or Not. It's got a little Tinder logo. It's just a simple bot that shows picture profiles of users who subscribe, and it shows a picture and it says yes or no. Like here, I'll show you right now. So you go, there's the bot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a cat picture, but that was supposed to be a person. But oh, there it is. Okay, so there's see the little yes or no button. I'm gonna put no. I'm gonna put yes on there. Here's a girl, Joelle, 30 years old, 2,000 kilometers. I'm gonna say no. Sorry, right? Just as an example. Here's Kiara, right? So I'm not gonna show these people's photos anymore, but I'm gonna just show you how that works. So see how it works? You got like a bot. You can say yes or no. The data goes into the bot. We'll have a database of users that'll then go back to users who want to see new profiles. And I've been talking to various developers to get this created, copied for D-Date. And I've also reached out to Hot or Bot, so I'm not just copying what they're doing. But I'm going to be honest, I am kind of thinking about copying exactly what they have, but making it better. I am reaching out to these existing people, but let's be honest, they didn't invent this. Like there's been the swipe left, swipe right thing. That's something that everybody's using. I actually have a friend from lyceum.org, the old IRC that I'm starting back up, Quakers. He's developed the Zeusk dating algorithm and made like 600 grand off that license. Bought a house with that. So I've got friends in that field from years ago that helped create dating apps. So I think that this is going to be really fun because I got sentiment tokens planned to be used for this project. Now, Telos has got this thing. Have you heard of them? Sentiment tokens?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the proposal though, and the new mock-up that shows? No. Okay, let me just show you that. So you go. So there's the sentiment tokens. So the sentiment tokens show up on Squirrel right here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, so can you see that? So there's like Telos Miami BP. There's a profile. This is from Marlon from Telos Miami, and this is the idea for Squirrel Wallet. Basically, you'd have like here your trust points, your likes. You'll be able to actually have like here's trust, right? Here's one metric. There's going to be, I don't know, maybe on D-Date we'll have sexiness or something. That's just one example, but you'll have metrics that you'll be able to measure with. And I'm trying to, this I saw and thought I have to integrate this. So up here we have a like, dislikes, trust, and distrust token. So I guess those are the first four that they're going to have. So we're going to have the ability to see if you trust someone or don't trust them. Now with D-Date, that's going to fold right in. So you'll be able to see if someone's trustworthy or not to date. Now, the second stage of this is going to be with the challenge DAC token. So if we go here to challenge DAC, let's see an example here. Let's go on Steem. Here's my front end for Steem San Diego, which is the sand token front end. And I should have a post on there that'll basically show challenge DAC has added sand. So the sand token is an EOS and Telos token. Just like D-Date token I had started on Steem, and then it goes to EOS and Telos. D-Date will also be added, just like sand, it has been added, to the challenge DAC. Then I'll be able to post challenges, which let me show you how that works. You get to post the challenges on a map of San Diego, for example, where I'm at. Those challenges will show up like this. So this is already working, okay? Mm-hmm. So here's the app. Can you see that?
Yep,
so here's like near my house, there's challenges. Show up here. And right here, Whole Foods, Hillcrest. And you go there and the GPS activates with your EOS. It activates, you get your CHL or sand tokens. I've selected these to be sand. And, you get your tokens from the GPS.
So what's one of those challenges? Like what's an example of what those challenges are at those locations?
Okay, so the challenge is you just go there. The GPS picks
Oh,
it up.
just
Eventually,
challenges to arrive at the location, essentially.
yes.
Okay.
Eventually, the original concept was to be fitness based, and we were going to have challenges that were fitness based. And Chase Escom and EOS Kent, who are behind the Challenge DAC, they've done a lot of work here with their developers, but they kind of move away from just fitness, like so anything. One example that I think they always had, that I also had, a common sense challenge
Mm-hmm.
that you can use this for is a race. So example, you start here on this GPS coordinate, and if you get to this one at this time, you get paid in the EOS token. And the app's already on the App Store, iOS. They undersell themselves so much. This is going to be on Telos too, and I've already been talking to them about getting the CHL token onto Telos, which they're talking to their contract deployer right now to get that on. Then I'm going to peg that to CHLP, which is already on Steam Engine. Then it's going to be listed on new decks on Telos. Then we'll have Telos tokens on Challenge DAC, so you'll be able to put the Telos in here. You'll be able to get Telos when you go somewhere.
That's rad.
It's that
That's
easy.
a fun one. So, what do you use
wait,
for?
hold on. I brought that up was for D-date. Sorry to interrupt, but I brought that up because imagine you get paid to go on a date with someone, and two people have to go there, and then like spend an hour together, and then you get the date. So you get how that works now?
Yeah, I see what's up. Yeah, that's rad. So I was just going to ask what you're using for proof of location. I know that what was it, like Platin or something like that? There was something at the EOS hackathon that I saw that had good proof of location. What are you using?
I probably should look into that, and the Challenge DAC guys should look into that. But they're using Challenge. The Challenge OS, or the new name, I think. I tried to get.
So they have a proof of location algorithm.
That's what Challenge DAC is. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if you call it that.
One of the things that people run into with like Pokemon and stuff is that you can spoof your location, and so basically
I know that's
spoof locations and swoop all those challenges up.
I know, and that's what I've been talking to them about. But there's a reason why that can't happen here, is because all the challenges are on the EOS blockchain. So you have to. I don't know if that would. I don't think you can spoof it because first of all, you have to have an account, and I think the account could be rate limited, and also. You have to prove you're there. Okay, you know what? Yeah, no, I've actually asked them about these questions. There's a really good reason why you can't just spoof the GPS locations. But here's what we're going to do. I've already made posts about this. We're going to have hackathons, and I would love to see someone try to spoof their challenges. I doubt anybody could fucking do that. Sorry to swear, but nobody's going to do that. Nobody even cares about this enough to even use the app right now.
Well,
nobody's going to spoof the locations for a penny.
Yeah. That's true. I'm thinking bigger picture. Hey, you know what the other fun one is that I've thought of this when this proof of location thing was up, when people are trying to solve that problem. Have you heard of geocaching?
Yeah, dude, I had a geocache right out of my backyard here. Okay, first of all, I don't want to diminish what you're saying. Definitely a big problem and a big hole in the whole thing if we don't have a proof of location algorithm. But I can't speak for Challenge DAC on that. Chase has got some amazing team members who've got some good solutions. I don't want to say that they don't have something that they might have. They do have a lot of this already figured out. So I'll let them come on and talk to you about that. But they do have like a good point about how nobody's going to want to spoof the challenges when they're not. Okay, here's the thing. If the challenges get that expensive, I would love to see people try to spoof it. We're going to have hackathons, and then we will use that. Like, obviously, yeah, there's going to be holes, but we're going to have people paid in CHL and all that. But imagine
it's just a scaling thing for sure. But don't underestimate people doing stuff just for the lulz. You know, they'll do it just to do it. They don't care how much money it's worth. Also, like,
no, you're right. Definitely,
people are going crazy for Pokemon, and they're just digital characters.
And that's free. Yeah, and that's not even. So, like, yeah, you're right.
So they're going to do it. But that's a scaling thing. It's not a reason to not do it. It's just a hurdle to overcome at some point.
No, it's going to be fun though, because this whole thing was created so cheap that, like, if that happens, it's just more fun to do.
Hey, that's a good problem. You know, if people are interacting to the level that they want to go at it, then that's good. That's a good sign. So
yeah, because the challenges are so cheap, and I could just make more. And the whole point is we're trying to get the API up. I just bought challengedac.org, and I've got my Ratson developer, Ratson in Venezuela, working on making a better, prettier Challenge DAC website with a map. And right now, you can only make the challenges from the app. I'm going to make it so you can make the challenge from any EOS or Telos account, and then I'm going to have a Telegram bot, Discord bots, and Steam bots, and even a Twitter bot that shows these challenges. So this map and the challenges should be posted on Steam We're going to have a thing where you can delegate Steem power to the challenge DAC account and get CHLP tokens. I mean, but yeah, definitely it's a scaling thing, and Pokemon Go, I've talked to them about this, and it's definitely going to be fun though. But we can make new challenges. I have a whole idea to just make challenges automated. So if someone does come and sweep them all up, we would, first of all, we got the XYO company, which is in San Diego. They have the whole proof of location thing where you have these little like devices, and then you have to go near them, and you get paid to location mine, they call it. The Steem guy, Pico Colonel Nate, the young guy from Steem, he left Steem It Inc. After they took a lot of his ideas, and then he went to XYO. And I haven't heard a lot from XYO, but he was always talking about this. They were really going the opposite of Steem. They were spending so much on marketing. But anyway, yeah, to cut this short, definitely there's a big proof of location thing here. But I think that the reason that it doesn't apply to challenge as much is because it's sort of like it's sort of a closed system within the app until we get the API out, until we get it to be. Basically, we're going to create the DAC in Challenge DAC. And I've also talked to Kent and Chase a lot about DAC Factory, and we're all. Kent. Oh yeah, dude, we're in line to get the DAC Factory, so we'll have a real EOS DAC and everything. But yeah, Kent needs to come on and talk you with what's his name, Stackin, and with M Blue, and go on the whole circuit. And but yeah, I think they're waiting for their app to be a little bit better. And then they got their sister and his daughter, Molly Escom, and she's got like 1 million Instagram followers, and and her boyfriend is FaZe Rug, and he's got like 6 million subscribers, and her Instagram alone would like make both CHL, EOS, and Telos go crazy. Like she would be not just the #1 girl in Telos or EOS, but like all crypto. She'd be like with 1 million followers on Instagram. Yeah, I think she would probably be like the most popular crypto model ever. I can't think of another one.
I don't know. So what's up with Kent? He's been involved in Challenge DAC for a while, right? I know that I've been talking. Seems like he's been working on that project for like a year. So do you work with him as well?
Well, it's his and his son's project. Mm-hmm. I just realized if they're in San Diego where I am, I got to get involved. So on my own, I just started getting involved. Started making Steem posts, and I got people to run a Challenge DAC promotion where we just you join the Challenge DAC, you get on the app, and all it takes is a phone number to log in. And it's interesting because you get like a ghost account on EOS. You get this account that's created for free. It doesn't cost any like RAM or CPU other than the transaction that the Challenge U account makes. But he does all the accounts within one EOS account. And then you have like no worries about like keys or anything. You just log in with a PIN and a phone number. And it's really interesting way of doing EOSIO. And so that's why we're going to put Telos in there, so it'll be a lot faster, and so we can have the Telos tokens. But yeah, I'm going to let Chase and Kent talk for Challenge DAC. But definitely, I on my own got myself into that and realized if they spent, I think, 150 grand, which is public information, on the RAM. He made that point about how much he had to spend on EOS RAM to do his airdrop. And there's only a few people that do that. Well, that was proof to me that he was serious and that he was in this like long term. And that if there's any people I'm going to follow, it's going to be him because he's already spent the money. He's proven that, Mm-hmm. A lot of people just spend 150 grand on an airdrop to get their token out there.
Yeah, he's got some skin in the game. Absolutely. Yeah.
And he needed help with some marketing. I realized like he didn't want to have to spend that money yet. And I could tell the app isn't good enough to promote yet. It's like it has to be good enough to his daughter to post 1 million Instagram followers. It's got to be good. Like when you're at that level, people will complain. You got one chance to make it a good impression with like the mainstream public. So it's going to be really exciting when it is tweaked a little bit better. Like the app just needs to be a little bit better, and like they've done so much with so little. And once we have Telos on there, I think it's going to be exciting when you can go put a Telos thing on the pin. But anyway, yeah, let's go back into Telos though, and let's talk about the actual Telos work proposal system and the Telegram.
Yes. Make it happen. Tell me about what do you think about the work proposal system? Are you talking about just the how it functions or the proposals that you have going?
Oh, at both. So let's talk about Steem's worker proposal system first. So that's
Okay.
a failure. That's like, to me, that's an example of a failure of a proposal system, because
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the Steem proposal system, hey, it could work eventually. But right now, here's an example. I am a Steemian for like 3 years, and yet I couldn't even get a small $700 proposal funded, which would go to paying for a video. Like, Coinbase has Coinbase Earn, where they make really nice animations.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do that and then give people Steem. This is like an obvious thing everybody wanted, and I got a lot of the votes. But the proposal system on Steem requires that, like, first of all, the proposal has to be up for like a year to get the 12 million fucking Steem power. Sorry, 12 million Steem power votes that you need. It's ridiculous. There's like 3 proposals that have ever gotten funded. It looks, at least it looks like that. I can only see 3 proposals that have even gotten the funding. While on Telos, I join after a few months. I just jump into Telos and tell them, hey, I need money for Steem, and they just give it to me. It's like Steem should have given me the money for Steem, but
Mm-hmm.
Telos is giving me money for Steem. It's like to promote Telos on Steem. But it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing how much faster Telos worked versus Steem, which I was there for years, and I still couldn't get the support. Now, I don't blame people for not voting my proposal. It's just that the proposal itself on Steem doesn't really work.
Well,
Because
speed's necessary because you have people who are excited and they have a certain amount of creative energy and like they want to release that. And if you make them wait a year or something, it's game over. You're going to lose momentum. People aren't going to be interested. Like I have projects I would have worked on a year ago, but I wouldn't work on now. The timing's an issue there too. So
well, I got to clarify. It's not that
Oh.
you don't have to wait a year. It's just that's how long it seems it will take for some of these proposals to actually get that funding. Like some
So
of them have been up for 6
So
months.
There's just not just a month long thing like on Telos where at the end of a month
No,
you know if you got it or not.
That's the problem. Okay, so you can select your own. So I've noticed a lot of people doing the year-long proposal. Not that you have to. It's just that the only successful ones I've seen are the ones that are up for like a whole year, so they can get those votes over time. Because nobody uses the proposal system on Steam. It seems like the whales aren't going up. There's no incentive for them to go vote.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, we have engaged token holders in Telos, which is a big part of why the work proposal system works. Without engagement and without people looking at that and caring and discussing it, it's not going to move forward. So,
well, I've even noticed really good projects like from Luis, the VP, who is paying people just for I think for voting and for leaving comments in the proposal system. So he's like just paying people, I think like 10 Telos or something like that. A good amount of Telos just for making the votes and participating and making comments, I think too. I don't want to speak for it too much, but he's paying people Telos. He had like 1,000 Telos or something. And until that was run out, he was going to give it out to whoever's actually voting. It was a great way to get people to just use the proposal system. And eventually we will have people get paid to vote some way that can't be gamed. There's got to be a way to do it. And maybe with another token. Oh, and that's another thing. I made a proposal that I need to answer about, which is, it was a very small one though, like 1,700 Telos, something like the minimum amount that you can even ask for before you're wasting your money.
Mm-hmm.
It was about getting squirrel proposals for more than just Telos. So imagine you go into Telos proposal system, and let me see if I can show you here. Mm-hmm. And imagine you go in there and you just got your tokens, and then one of those tokens you can select from a list. And so imagine you can actually just select your token from a list and then do proposals for that token. I made a mock-up in it. Let me see if it's on there. See if I can
Wait, so you're talking about getting paid in worker proposals, getting paid in other tokens through the Telos worker proposal system?
Yeah, and that's the problem with that, is that like the smart contract doesn't allow for it. However, if there was a modification to the front end to Squirrel, it could happen.
And what do you want to do? Like tie it in a Bancor or something that where on the back end they do the transaction and send you whatever token you want?
That's a good idea. But I was just going to use Telos DAC, and I was going to do it like, okay, so you go into proposal system, and then there would be like right here, there'd be a little, I made a mock-up. Let me just go get to the mock-up. I got sand on Bancor, so I got my sand token onto the Bancor proposal system. I mean, into Squirrel Wallet. There's a liquidity pool where you can have, what's it called? You can have swaps.
Bancor, yeah. You give Bancor enough so they have a liquidity pool and they'll do swaps for you. Yeah, I want to hear about Sand Token too.
But Rory from South Africa paid for that amount. He had the Telos to pay for my fund now. Like I didn't have to put up any Telos. It was really nice. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Rory, South Africa.
He's got his EOSio South African stablecoin. It's backed by like a business bank account. I think he created. It's like it's public, so you can like see the rand. And he's got South African rand in there. But here's what I'm talking about, the proposal system. So you got like, okay, can you see that?
Yep.
So right here, see, you would click here and it'd be like, here's the proposals for Telos. But then you click here and you'd have Telos DAC, you'd have Teach, you'd have Squirrel, Sand, and it would allow to do that. You would need an option to allocate a certain amount of your tokens for that pool. You'd have to put the amount of years it's for. You basically have to set up a reward pool. And with Steem, we have Scottbot, and I'm bringing that to Telos too, so we can have reward pools. And we're actually finally going to have a posting thing with EOS discussions. They're coming to Telos. They're going to ask for a proposal. I think I'm not going to say how much, but Jock from EOS discussions, he's going to bring that to Telos. So we'll have a place where you can make posts and comments and likes. And then I'll use that for everything. And then we'll have reward pools. Now, when you make a Telos token, you will set up a social media reward pool. Here's how I imagine it. You'd set up a social media reward pool. So maybe 25% of the max supply, let's say you have 1 billion of a token. 25% could be set up for like a 300-year reward pool where that 25% is slowly trickled out through Scottbot, like a Steem style reward pool, where you got like diminishing inflation, where it's like starts at 7%, and it's like 6, and it's 5 every year, it goes down, something like that. We have and that's all. It sounds complicated, but it's all been packaged into Scottbot, and it's a bot that does all that. And I'm bringing that to EOS and Telos. And I made a post, so I made a proposal on EOS VC for those $50,000 grants, and I made that before the New Year's. I sent that out to Block One. So
okay,
hopefully we'll get.
Can you describe what Scottbot is for like a layman?
So
what it does?
Scottbot would be the other side of these proposals. So we got proposals that would be in Squirrel, and then in Steem you have reward pools. So on Telos you got proposal system, and that's how we get our money. But on Steem you got the reward pool. Steem engine created Scottbot so we could develop reward pools for more than just Steem tokens. So we could have like my Sand token. It was created under Steem engine first before it was put on EOS and Telos. It needed a reward pool. So Scottbot lets you set up a reward pool on Steem engine. And it basically, you set up your curation ratio, you set up your author reward, you set up a curve, you set up all the curves, and it's right here under in Steem engine. You go over to sto.steamengine.com, you go to launch, and I'll show you right here. Settings, we go to...
So you can go through and set the parameters for rewards.
Here we go. Yeah, and here it is. So here's my Sand token, and here's a couple other tokens I can select from. But here we go, author reward curve. So I can change the curve. I can change the token account, who owns it. I can change the promoted post account, like the null account. The author reward percentage. So this is like the author rewards from like, curation or beneficiary account. So 1% of all posts go to San Diego. Cash out window day, curation curve, downvote power consumption, JSON metadata key tags, JSON metadata value. That's just a tag you use. Rewards token every end block. This is the important part. Reduction percentage, rewards token, and rewards token every end block. And every end block, that's just referencing Steem. Steem has a certain amount of tokens every second or whatever, every 3 seconds, every block.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all just referenced off that. So you're just like, how much bigger or smaller compared to Steem is your Scottbot token? And that's it. You basically have a Scott token. You can now have a reward pool. You can then pay for Nitrous, which is a front end. And that's how I got Steem San Diego, or that's how they got weedcash.network. And I'm also bringing the Weedcash guys to Telos eventually. But, I got the Golos people. They have their own front end, though. That's Condenser. That's another example. Golos will also be brought to Telos. But yeah, so I got Scottbot. Scottbot's part of Steem engine. It creates reward pools, and it's a great way for us to have a social media side to this proposal system.
Okay. So that, would you say that's the big time use case for it, is kind of some sort of social media interface for the worker proposal system?
Like, no, to complement it.
To complement it.
Yeah, that too. No, that could work too, because I have this idea where I want proposals for individual tokens in Squirrel Wallet, where you'd have, proposals. So the reason I brought that up is because you have a token. Let's say you set it up. It's got a billion max supply. You're going to have to allocate like 10% of it, let's say, for proposals over like a couple years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you allocate maybe 30% of it for the reward pool, which will be doled out over like 300 years or 1,000 years. That's how it sounds crazy, but that's how the math works out on the spreadsheets. So anyway, you have a token and you set up the proposal pool and you set up the social media reward pool. You could just set up like, so what I'm going to do, and I've talked to Douglas about this. He casually mentioned something about, well, if we have enough Telos in the exchange reserve, I'm paraphrasing, but he's basically talking about like we could have a social media reward pool basically. So that got me really excited. Got me realizing, see, like right here, we got a proposal that was like, for 205,000 Telos, Squirrel's new wallet interface. That's a great proposal to support for Squirrel Wallet, 200,000 Telos. So let's say there's another proposal for like 200,000 Telos 1 month. And all that Telos now goes into the social media reward pool. Now we don't have to change any smart contract. Now we use Scottbot on Telos. We can have Scottbot hooked up to Telos P on Steem engine, and we can have it giving out Telos. We can have a site just like steemit.com or just like Sand. Like right here, I got my Sand site. And here on Sand, you can see people get paid in Sand tokens, just like on Steemit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'll be like that for Telos. So it'll be like, you get paid in Telos.
And that's through Steem? That's on Steemit right there, people getting paid in Sand.
Yeah, their posts are on Steem and they're on my Sand front end. And these Sand tokens are on Telos too.
So you just created a different front end for Steem and then connected your Sand token essentially. And then through Scottbot, you're controlling all the ratios there for upvotes and things.
Yep.
Okay. So
and it's on Telos too. The token can be withdrawn to Telos. But I want to have the actual Scottbot on Telos. Right now it's like it's all done on Steem and you can withdraw it to Telos.
So what do you think the idea is on a Telos social media? Are they talking about using like the Steem algorithms and putting a Telos front end and Telos tokens on Steem?
Yeah, that's what I want to do, and have those Steem algorithms like the Scottbot brought over to Telos, and then we're going to use this Steem Peak. So these Steem Peak guys are another great Steem front end. And if you go to, I paid to put my Sand on here too. So I got Sand. You go into tribes.
Yeah.
You go here to Sand. And so now I got the Sand tribe on the Steem Peak site. So I've already talked to them about Telos, and I've talked to them about a proposal for Telos Peak because it's Steem Peak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to have Telos Peak. So they said they could give me Scatter or Squirrel login method. So I'd have a little login method, wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could talk about posts, likes, comments, and coexisting. Because right now, if you go into this site, Steem Peak, and you don't have a Steem account, you can log in. Look at that. You can log in with Google, Facebook, or even a GitHub temporary guest account. Mm-hmm. So we can connect those to Telos, and we can coexist on Steem Peak. And we can even have a single account for Telos posts that posts from one account on the Steem blockchain, but every one of those posts is posted onto Discussions app. So Discussions app will be on Telos blockchain. So we got Discussions.app. So this guy is going to he's already written the proposal. So all the stuff's culminating. And we got Discussions app, which is a front end, just like we were looking at, but except this time it's on EOS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This will be on Telos, and then we will have it all working. So yeah, I'm glad you could see the vision there, where we have it all, bringing the Steem stuff to come work into the Telos blockchain.
Well, for people that have been around since BitShares and ProtoShares and seeing all of this just slowly build on each other and develop, I love to see these cross-platform integrations and all these things come together. I hope that, I don't hope. I just hope, for people who are listening to this, who are who just got involved in EOS or maybe just got involved in Telos, don't be scared of all these other blockchains. They're all integrated together. They all came from somewhere. There's granddaddies and daddies of blockchains here. They can all work together. So don't get too territorial when we talk about Steemit here. It's
DPoS. It's Dan
DPoS.
Larimer.
This is Dan Larimer. This is what it's all about. Telos it's becoming its own thing, but we owe a lot, and we can still gain a lot from sharing with the other blockchains like Steemit, for example, or Steem blockchain, for example. So,
I got a ledger with EOS, Telos, and Steem tokens on one ledger.
Yeah,
that's not supposed to really happen.
How'd you pull that off?
Because I got the Steem. Well, first of all, the Telos keys are on here. I can't really use them unless I use the EOS account, but the Telos is on the ledger because it's the Genesis account. And then the Steem is through EOS Steem P, which is on Nudex. So you can so EOS and that Telos Steem P is going to happen too. So yeah, I'm glad that you just said that, not to be afraid of other chains. And it is a granddaddy chain. Steem is the grandfather of Telos because Steem gave birth to EOS. EOS kind of gave birth to Telos. You can kind of say it like that. It's like a direct lineage.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to know the history. And there's so many tools. There's still people that are crushing it, building all kinds of tools for Steem. But
those guys need to come to Telos. Like, you're right, they're crushing it, but they get underfunded. It's like they're living in a.
Yeah, I agree. They need to come to Telos. Telos is where is the head of the spear right now, and so hopefully getting as many people, good people from Steem over developing directly onto Telos is the bigger picture thought. The reason
that's why I bought TelosSteem.com.
Yeah, you bought TelosSteem.com.
Yeah, man. And then we're going to have, like you just said, we're going to have people, the developers, they're making killer stuff, and they're going to they're going to see the light of Telos. They've been underfunded. Imagine if you're working on something for 3 years, you never get paid.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal.
But imagine if you're working on what if you were working on anti-gravity and you were actually it was working, but nobody believed it.
No one cared.
But it was really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're so close with Steem. They don't have the governance though. Telos has the governance.
Yep. Telos put together a lot of puzzle pieces. It's the head of the spear right now. What's your day look like, man? You've got 50 projects going on.
I'm on the treadmill right now.
Oh, dude, you are a savage, man. You are just multitasking like none other. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I drove by a cop today and I saw him on the phone. And I was like, there's no reason why we can't multitask and drive and talk at the same time. Maybe we'll have a special certification course for people who can drive and talk at the same time. I'm a certified phone talker driver.
Yeah, well, you're a certified multitasker for sure, man.
Check this out. I'm going to have the Metro transit system in San Diego using the MTS token, bus tokens.
Oh, so wait. So the metro system, the buses in San Diego having their own token.
I hope to do it. I can't just say that's going to happen, but I have a plan to do it, and it's going to use sand. Check this out. I got the parking meters. I got a plan to hook up the parking meters, jury duty, the bus system. Anything the city does with money will be one unified blockchain. So let's say you go to jury duty, and you get paid to go to jury duty in a token that you can then pay for your parking tickets.
Perfect. It's like you're working for the company store.
Oh, the city. Oh, dude. No, it's called a city-state. We're going back to ancient Greece here.
There you go. Okay. Interesting. Well, put that one after all this Telos stuff. That's fantastic. So what's the data token you've got going too? What's data token?
Okay, so data token is basically the packaging of my friends in Africa, Mick Sam and others who have Vodafone and other mobile carrier token codes. They have these codes that you can buy from them, and you get data, 12 gigabyte packages, 6 gigabyte packages for $12, $20. They've been doing this for years on Steem, and I realized we could just have a bot where you send a token through TipIt or EOS Cafe, a Telos token, and then you get a voucher back. Now I'm just waiting on Privex to create the smart contract to create the data token along with a bunch of others. I know I have a lot of old Telos worker proposals from a couple months ago, and I like to get stuff done fast, but they are going to all come out very soon, including the Golos token on Telos including the CHL pegged on Telos, and then this data token. So data token is just going to be like revolving around a bot that you send it a token, you send it crypto, and then you get a voucher. And I've been asking a lot of bot makers to make me a voucher system, because you can do a lot with just vouchers. So like you send a bot like TipIt a token, and then you get a code back, and that code can be many things. And this one thing we have is this Vodafone deal. It's not just Vodafone, and it's only Vodafone. It's not like we have a contract with them or anything or deal. We just have a lot of these Vodafone data codes for mobile phones. Like Nick Sam, this guy in Africa, my friend who's a doctor in Ghana, he has made these Steem posts of big bags of SIM cards with Steem logos on them. And he would go around giving them out and make posts about them back during the good times on Steem when we could make a lot of money.
Yeah, Steem was cracking for a little while. Hey, so those SIM cards, what, they have like 30 minutes of phone time on them? Is that like that?
Yeah, they would have like 6 gigs of data and stuff like that.
Okay. And so he's passing out data and the ability to use the phones. And what's the purpose of the logo on there? Was it connected to Steem or just a promotion?
That was it was just a promotion. It was connected to Steem because we were making posts on the blockchain. Some people were sending Steem to pay for the data, but it was informal. It was, it wasn't actually made into a product. But I'm basically realizing I could just make this into a bot. The Discord's already set up. If people want to use it, it already works on a manual basis, just going in there, sending the tip using the Banjo tip bot, sending the data token, and they DM you with the code. But it's not automated yet. I want to get it automated, and I can do that with a bot.
So DM you with the SIM card code, DM you with a card to activate some data or something on your Vodafone. Yeah, the
Vodafone system's got it all set up for us. They have an app. You just go in there, or you go on the website and you just type in the code.
Okay,
like, we're just using their system. I mean, we're just.
And how's that tied to how would that be tied to like a Telos token or something? Oh, they pay for basically phone service through Telos token.
Yeah, it's just they're just using a Telos token. It's also on Steem Engine. We're going to be, just like with Sand, I'm going to be putting that token, pegging it to Telos, and then listing it on Nudex. Then anybody can just buy a data token and then use that to get a little bit of phone data. And because we can buy these packages in bulk, we actually do get a cheaper deal than people normally get buying their phone data. And I was going to test this out in America to see if the Vodafone worked here. That'd be really cool if I could buy African data and make it work on an American phone. But I think it's only working in Vodafone-enabled countries right now. But eventually, we'll get more data packages and bulk deals. It's just us buying phone data and putting it into a token, and a tip bot will then sell it to you. And then the website that lets you turn that into actual phone data is done for us. We're not doing that. That's all done. That's all just a Vodafone website and a couple other mobile carriers. They have their own apps and stuff.
So you're kind of digitizing this phone data in putting it on the blockchain, like making it a blockchain transaction kind of.
Yeah, it's just a payment system for.
So people could be like earning their phone time essentially.
That's turning this into a Steem Engine tribe allows us to then make this into like you post about your phone data, you get paid in data tokens that you can then use for mobile data.
Yeah, or you make a video post with your phone and then you post it to the blockchain and then you get paid basically you basically get paid back and you can use data, you can earn yourself data.
Just like the Sand token already has with that front end, that can be spun up within minutes for the data token. It's 1,000 ENG to enable staking, 1,000 ENG to enable Scott, and 1,000 to enable the nitrous. So it's basically, that's like $100. It's like $300, and you can get your own website Scott bot token that stakes and lets you earn it for posting. So yeah, we would have to here's the problem with that. We would have to have so much phone data to back up our tokens before we set up the reward pool. We wouldn't want to be giving people phone data that's not backed up. That's the other thing. I'm only doing this for small amounts at first. I'm going to have a system where you can go verify the data. How can you verify a code without using it? So we're just going to do small amounts at first.
Interesting. You mentioned go ahead.
No, because it is a big issue of like how do you make sure the data is backed. So I'm not going to issue a large amount. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask about Golos. You mentioned it earlier. What's up
Yeah.
with talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so I feel so bad for the Golos guys because all those Golos Russians, they're like one dumpster fire after another in Russia. You know, it's just get invaded by Nazis. And they got the Soviet Union collapses. And now they got to deal with all this Trump stuff. And you know, it's like, man, I feel bad for them. They need a win. And you know, if I keep helping Golos, the CIA is going to start accusing me of helping Russians. You know. But anyway, but really, if anything, Golos should be like the CIA capitalist, like, mission to help the Russians become capitalists and like get them away from, you know, it's like that's what Golos can be. But anyway, the whole point is, I got Golos ready to go to Telos. It works too because, you know, Golos means voice in Russian and Telos is Greek, and the Russians are like Orthodox, like the Greeks. Mm-hmm. So it's like the symbolism works. But anyway, the point is, just like the other tokens on Steam Engine that have been applied to go over to Telos and waiting for the token deployment from Privex, yeah, I'm just waiting for some guy 123 from Privex, waiting for him to get back into the office because I'm on vacation for like a month or whatever. And that's the only reason I haven't had these tokens like issued on new decks that bad. It's probably good that I waited because I've been gotten too many projects too much at once. It's probably good that I space it out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Golos will be this. It'll be the peg of Golos P. And I'm just going to call it Golos. I'm not going to put Golos PP. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it's a peg of Golos. It's just going to be Golos. It's going to be clearly stated to be backed 1-to-1 with Golos P. The cool thing is you don't have to go and deposit it into Steam Engine and then withdraw it again. You'll be able to just deposit your Telos Golos and get mainnet Golos. And by the way, Golos forked too. So Golos forked from Steam back in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Then recently, Golos has this new weird fork. So they got the good one, which is Golos Classic. It's on Bittrex and everything. Then the Russian
Golos Gold.
Well, Golos Gold is still there. That's like their SBD.
Okay.
But they got this thing called Cyberway. Cyberfund was the Russian fund. Cyberfund was the Eastern crypto fund that they had control over Golos. Some reason they were like a crypto fund people can invest in, I think. Anyway, they're now using EOSio, I think, for Golos. But I don't know how that's working. They have a new chain called Cyberway or something. I don't know what that's about. What I'm doing is getting the original Golos Classic onto Telos. Once they see the Telos token on new decks, once they see it on Squirrel, the Golos community will start waking up. The Golos community is like a little bonus, like Steam. It's like we will have a Russian enclave for Telos in that region, have all the developers who've been sharpening their skills for nothing until now. But now they finally have something to use it on. Telos will give them more and more funding as they develop the Golos blockchain into Telos, like the front end. As they develop that front end to work with the back end of Telos, I think they'll get more and more funding. Mm-hmm. The funding that I asked for was just to pay for the token to be pegged and to list on new decks. And that's the money was already sent directly to the Steam Engine account. Just wait for him to create the token. We will have Golos. It's like all the other projects. We'll have just a Steam Engine peg. We will have Golos on new decks. I'll put it on TipIt. And then I'll be making a lot of Golos posts. Golos is another Steam chain. So they still have their old chain. I'm going to use that as like this sort of skeleton. Like Steam will be used as a backup chain that you can always have as like this backup chain. I mean, why not? It's kind of like a dirtier, less governed version. It's kind of like the Wild West or something. It's like it's like DOS or something. I don't know. It's like the older. It's like BitTorrent or something. It's like something that you just have like a mycelium layer, and then you put EOSio on top of that. But yeah, I really want to use Steam. Dan Larimer made a post saying that he's got all of Steam content on a voice testnet. Did you see that?
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I posted it on Steam and Twitter. But yeah, he
wants
was
to put
on
the death blow and just Steam it, huh?
Well, no, people didn't know what to think about it. But I mean, to me, it's like, wait, like he's saving Steam because it's like he's thinking about it still.
Yeah. Well, I think And there's a lot of organic traffic of people who understand blockchain and why it's important that
That's really
that
good point.
that can help out. It'd be nice if a lot of Steemians stuck together and came to different social media sites and supported them. So yeah, hopefully, I mean that's a good point for Telos too. If Telos can launch a social media site, that Steem community is very important.
Because we're going to use Steem Peak, so it'll be Telos Peak.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to use Telos Peak and to get Steemians into Telos like right with one button. They just click a button, sign up to Squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing. Also, I've talking to my Teleconda people about getting a $250 advertisement on SteemIt.com. You go to self-serve.steemit.com,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little form where you can buy ads. So I could have an ad for a whole month on SteemIt.com. It's $5 CPM, so it's expensive. But SteemIt has all these like crypto people, and they get paid, and they're like always getting rewards, and they can buy Telos. So it's like I've heard of Telos having uptrend. Also, I hear that we're very close to doing some sort of. We're talking about uptrend coming to Telos too. But they're an ERC20. That would be really good to help show how an ERC20 can come to Telos. It's gonna be a lot of extra work though.
What's uptrend?
Uptrend is just it's another type of Steemit type site, like a blockchain. It's like an Ethereum version of Steemit. It's like a social media blockchain type thing, and you get paid and up 1 point, whatever. But it's ERC20, so it doesn't really scale unless they come to Telos. So it's perfect for Telos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what do you see as I know that there's been some rumblings about and hope that Telos can launch some sort of social media site. What do you see that being? Like, what's the first step in that?
Well, EOS Discussions app becoming Telos Discussions app,
Mm-hmm.
having that base layer. From there, we can then make front ends. Like we need Telos itself to be the way people talk about Steem and Steemit. Like no one talks about the Steem social media site.
Yeah.
It's just Steem. So we need to make that into Telos. Like that will naturally happen if we just follow these plans I've laid out for Scott bought on Telos for the nitrous. That front end I showed you for the sand site, that's just called nitrous. It's like $100 to set up basically.
Mm-hmm.
That will be on Telos. I just have to get the scatter and the squirrel login buttons, the login methods, into that nitrous. I've talked to Eon Warp from Steam Engine about doing that. I just have to find the time to make the proposal, and it's like when I make the proposal, I have to explain why it's important and why they should give me more money to like do another thing for Steem. But if it works, we will actually have Telos social media built into Steem. We don't have to build it from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be able to have the stuff like Piranha, like that Piranha site. That's really good. But Piranha doesn't post all the content to the chain, and they explained it because they don't need to. It's like kind of wasteful. With Discussions app, all your text and stuff gets posted to the chain, just like with like a Steem post. But we'll have the Telos social media. Also, voice. People are saying voice might be on EOS and Telos, or it might be its own EOSio chain. So I don't want to depend on it, but that could be a social layer we use.
So do you think voice is going to give Telos their back end like GitHub to clone a site?
I don't know if that's how it works. I thought voice would be like a social media layer. If it is going to be,
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, it might be just an app that just works on its own chain. That's what they were talking about in the EOS project room.
So if it's a social media layer, we could maybe use it on you're thinking that they might let Telos use it on a whatever Telos social site there is?
Yeah, that's like the whole, that's what I got from watching people talk about it, like talk about Block, and that's what I got from hearing the Block 1 Telos interview. I got the idea that voice would be for all the EOSI chains. And then it's more of a social media layer, and then like it'll come out and it'll be like sentiment tokens or something, and then you'll have a layer, and then you'll be able to make your own front end for it. But they will have one app for it. That's how I thought it would be, but who knows? That's the problem. Like we don't know exactly how it would be, but I think when it does come out, it would be a lot more simple than people thought. Like when Gray Mass came out, I told people Gray Mass for EOS would be just like Vessel Wallet, and it exactly was because Jesta made both. But yeah, voice is really interesting. You don't know what's going to be, but some people do, like Saeed Joffrey, dude. He knows things, man. He knows things. he one time he like slipped out something about Boeing, and because someone guessed it. So he was like, okay, you got it. But let's talk about SkyGrid and Boeing. And I was hearing about that a long time ago, how they wanted Steem to work with SkyGrid because Ethereum wasn't fast enough.
What's
and Boeing
SkyGrid?
It's their traffic control system, Boeing's air traffic control system, blockchain air traffic control. And they're still shopping it around. And you probably won't read any articles about it. You might. But that's like what I've been hearing that through multiple people in the industry, like first through Verstikin and one of those Steam Press guys. They were talking about something to do with it and meeting Boeing people at a conference. And I could just tell there's Boeing people going around shopping blockchains to see which one would actually work, because you can't have planes falling out of the sky because the Ethereum, chain is too expensive, or because ADOS attacks EOS chain. And imagine your airplane can't take off because you don't have enough EOS staked in your airplane. Like that's the shit that would happen.
Wow, that's I hadn't heard about that SkyGrid. Interesting.
Well, yeah, another big thing. I always walk by the AT&T building near my house, and I'd have this joke about AT and Telos, because there was a post that showed up on my Twitter, and it has the AT&T logo the EOSio logo upside down in an AT&T ad. This is an ad. It obviously showed up on my feed because it was under an Acct Labs. Acct Labs, the block producer.
Mm-hmm.
His post on Twitter had an ad above it for AT&T, probably because it has the same AT&T, Acct Labs, ATT.
Oh yeah.
So the ad though showed something about some sort of hackathon, I think, in New York for AT&T, but it had an upside down EOSI logo. And I posted this many times. People were saying, "Oh, that's just a coincidence." But
upside down chestahedron, huh?
Yeah, it was upside. It was an outline of it.
Uh-huh.
I could probably, if you just type in Steemit X AT&T EOS logo, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw another post from the Cyber Code twins, those Chios, EOS girls. They had a post about a hackathon. They were I think they were oblivious to what's going on. If this is like some sort of AT&T conspiracy I've unraveled here, a good one. But their post was about AT&T present at some sort of EOSIO related hackathon. I really don't think it's possible AT&T would not be interested in EOSIO. They have to be thinking about ways to have every phone number as a public key infrastructure, as an address. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, see if your mic is still plugged in good. Your sound just cut in half.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah. Well, here I'll turn it up. I can if it's really cut down, I'll have to just get to it in post production.
I can get closer. Is that better?
Yeah, that might work. Yeah. So, that is a wild one though. That idea that AT&T could. I mean, all these big companies, are definitely have teams working on blockchain. I mean, that's
they're not going to tell you about it. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they've all got their little skunk works going. So.
I saw a Yahoo ad that I don't know how long Yahoo has had a purple dot in their logo, but I posted that in the Telos group where I saw an ad for Yahoo. Look at the Yahoo logo. It's a circle with a magnifying glass, but in the middle it's a purple circle, dude. It's the Telos logo basicay.
Interesting.
And I'm thinking, like, obviously it might not happen right now, but what if I could trigger that event? What if we could trigger an old tech company that's dying like Yahoo that nobody cares about? May not be dying, but who cares about Yahoo anymore? Reinvigorate them with something like a Telos deal. That would be huge. And I was thinking also, the AT&T thing can happen. Here's why. Because TipIt is adding SMS. So basically every phone number will be a wallet.
Tip is adding SMS to every phone. Yeah, that's interesting.
And email. They're adding email and SMS. What if they add physical addresses?
Well, the bigger picture thought there too is it makes sense for all of these addresses that we have to be condensed down to one address, where your email, your phone numbers, your money, everything.
The wallet is you.
Yeah, you are the wallet, and then all these little apps all tie into one place. So you don't need someone's. I don't need your home address, your email address, your phone number, your, you know, your birth certificate, all this contact data. It's just your address is your, you know, your name.
Oh, no, I totally agree. And I agree that's what EOS voice can do with with EOSio voice, even Telos voice could do with the with the face recognition system, where you and me would check mark that we are each other. We would verify each other. But if that doesn't work, the government's still going to spend billions of dollars on contracts for, like, you know, AT&T address system. Imagine your California ID. Every California ID number, public address, public key. Why not? Every public address for an actual physical address could be linked to a very simple Google Maps style verification, where you get a letter in the mail with an actual private key. Now, people are afraid of that idea. They think, well, that's backwards thinking. No, it's not. That's what the government would be doing one day. They're going to be doing things like that. How would a boomer use cryptocurrency? They try to mix it into the old style stuff. So we would have like a system where you get mailed a private key. Social security numbers should be public keys. Every phone number, license plates at the DMV can be public keys. Some of these might not work. Eventually one will work, though. And even if it doesn't work, we'll get the cities and the states governments to be educated on cryptocurrency. We'll get the advantage. But yeah, I definitely want to get to the wallet as you, though, point. Like you were talking. I want to get to that, though, first. But if it doesn't work.
It's all, I mean, 20 years down the road, it's going to be a whole new world as far as how all of this looks, man. Absolutely. You mentioned a CHL pegged tokens on Telos. What's that?
So CHLP would be it's already on Steemit, on Steam Engine. I could have CHLP pegged to Telos, but I've actually talked to Chase Escom at the CTO for Challenge, and he instead, I think I've talking to him into just deploying CHL on Telos, not a peg, just another Telos token created from the Challenge DAC account. Then we'll peg that to CHLP. If for some reason that's too complicated or they don't want to do that, then I will just have CHLP pegged to Telos. But I'd rather just have CHL. I don't want to have the P there.
Okay. Yeah. So the CHL's the challenge token.
Yeah, but one of them will be on Nudex, either CHL or CHLP. And CHL is already on Nudex under EOS. But I'm going to get that on Telos. And I've talked to them many times on the phone. They're real excited about Telos because they know how important it is to, like, developing, and they know how cheaper it is because they saw how expensive EOS accounts to run. So just that alone got them excited. But they're definitely going to come on here, and I'll organize Chase to come on here, and hopefully Kent too. Yeah.
So what's up with I could reach out to Kent too. That'd be cool. To come on the Telos podcast, you mean?
Yeah. I'll tell Chase to try to get them both so that when he goes on, they can both go on.
That'd be fantastic.
Because Kent always makes those videos anyway, and they can just do it at the same time. You know.
Yep. Kent's good. He's always making content. He's good at that. What do you think's going to happen with the US dollar?
US dollar. It's gonna have 2% inflation forever, for eternity.
For eternity?
Okay, so people are always saying, "Oh, it's gonna crash and shit," but Dan Larimer has this idea for the programmable US dollar. Have you heard about that before?
Nope.
Okay, so the whole idea is just ideas. It's like you don't have to actually know exactly how things work. You just got to have the rough idea, like Dan Larimer. Like my friend Mughat in Denmark said, he just makes broad brushstrokes and then gets his technicians to come in and fill in the gaps. So what you got to do is figure out inflation and just get the ratios right. So Dan Larimer's idea is the new US dollar, 20 trillion initial supply, 5% inflation a year would give you 1 trillion US dollars, programmable US dollars, as the government budget. Turn off all income taxes. I'm sure other taxes will remain, so that'll be like a bonus, and nobody will mind paying sales tax once there's no income tax. It'll be fun. You will then have no taxes, no income taxes. Sorry, not no tax, no income taxes. The U.S. budget will be totally covered by the $1 trillion a year, and if they want more than that, they have to make the U.S. dollar go up.
Yep. Okay,
That's
yeah, I'm familiar
Dan
with that
Larimer's
concept.
plan.
Yeah, I love that concept.
And that was a couple years ago. I think now it can actually happen a lot easier through a multiple different programmable US dollars. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's that speech that Dan gave at that kind of famous one at Virginia Tech back in the day, kind of
Yeah,
talking about money, the future of money, and you know
that speech stuck with me. Yeah.
oh, it's so rad, and keeping the government accountable, because it's nice to have someone out there working on your behalf, but you want them to have some sort of measurable metric to make sure the tax dollars are being spent appropriately. If that
And they'll
metric
make
is,
more money this way.
yeah, exactly. If that metric is just like you need to use the money effectively enough to bring in more money, then that's good. You know, it's kind of an interesting take. Yeah. So you think that you think the U.S. goes digital at some point?
Oh, we already have. I mean, we already. It's our dude. Okay? A centralized communist government has really hard time managing long-term, like, successful wealth, right? Because you can't like micromanage things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we have developed a free market private money system now. The US dollar could fucking crash tomorrow and American households wouldn't actually feel it as bad as they would if we didn't have Bitcoin. We actually have Bitcoin. We actually have the backups now. That alone allows the market to price in like everything. So why would people short sell the dollar and panic when there's all this confidence now that we have like computer systems and algorithms to keep things going, automation to keep the lights on. You know, we don't have to worry about who's going to pay for the paycheck of the government worker. It's like, it doesn't matter. We'll have a robot do it. It may not be that easy, but that's the idea. It's calming people down. So I don't see the US dollar as collapsing. I see like the Elon Muskification of life coming online. The billionaires meeting up going, we're going to have a fourth industrial revolution. You know, like they're all going to start investing in Tesla stock. And by the way, I got my my family to buy like 10 shares of Tesla stock like a couple weeks ago. So it's like they've been making like $1,000 just off my advice. And I made a Tesla pegged token on Steem Engine. I didn't issue any because I know there's KYC issues, but I do plan on having Telos tokens pegged to stocks purchased on Cash App.
Oh, what? That's an interesting idea.
But I won't give it to anybody unless they do KYC, because that's where it gets real dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure you're on a couple watch lists, dude, with all your projects.
Dude, no, check it out. Check it out.
What government projects you have going on?
Oh, no, check it out. My mom's, okay, so I got General Michael Flynn's sister served with my parents, and I got her a Steemit account and a Binance account and had her buy EOS.
General Michael Flynn, is that the general, the U.S. general or something? General of the U.S.
It's Trump's former national security advisor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can actually picture him now. Okay, interesting.
And he yeah, it's crazy because I got pictures of his sister and hanging out at my house with my mom, and I got her a Steemit account. I made a post about her and surfing, and then my parents got to go surf with her and Michael Flynn, and it's cool stuff because I basically get to run the Illuminati from my treehouse, man.
Oh,
so
man.
It all started in the treehouse back here. I'll show you the treehouse.
Yeah, let's check out the treehouse. Good idea.
I don't know if the Wi-Fi is going to work down there, but you can see down in there.
Oh yeah, you're already starting to cut out, but I can see like a jungle behind you. It looks like the Jungle Cruise from Disneyland or something.
But the treehouse is down there.
Yeah, you're cutting out, dude. But yeah, that.
Yeah, there's no Wi-Fi back there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a spot. That's quite a spot you got there in San Diego. It looks like.
Yeah, man, okay, so there's just one other thing I got to tell you about the Searle effect generator. Okay, so they got this device that people think is a scam, but I know it's not. And it was developed during World War II and at the end of World War II in the aircraft factories where they had high tolerance spinning CNC machines to make rings, okay? Neodymium and brass rings. So it's called the Searle effect generator. John Searle he's been on Art Bell Coast to Coast, you know. It's an anti-gravity, free energy device type deal, okay? There's a lot of those, okay? But my plan is to develop this. I'm going to indirectly fund this through the Telos blockchain by setting up academic research labs through Telos. There's already a network of like independent labs around the country where people go and they use university labs and stuff. I can start small, and I can actually start with this. The Searle effect generator guys, Jason Verbelli and the Searle Magnetics Institute, they ran out of money, but they did have a point where they had a few $1 million in funding, but they needed like 10 or something, right? They just needed the money to build these rings. They needed CNC machines. They needed magnetizers. There's like a few machinery that they needed to buy. They could then develop these machines, which could then create like electricity to then mine Bitcoin, okay? That's the main plan. And then you could eventually sell this technology to the military and to power companies. And I mean, this could start though by just magnetics research. So I don't want to go out there and make a Telos proposal for funding free energy, because that could backfire. People would be like, oh, you're trying to fund a scam directly now. But if we just fund the neodymium research, that's just science. A lot of this research has never been done. These neodymium magnets, and you can like lock things with them. There's a lot of cool stuff we could learn with magnets. A lot of this stuff we could just say it's for developing new motors, for drones, for all that type of stuff everybody loves. But there is a chance that we could develop a machine to develop like 15 kilowatts of power that could then mine Bitcoin. We'd have to sell the electricity. In the past, you wouldn't be able to pull this off because people would figure out you're generating free power. Power company guys might come and be upset with that and shut you down. Nowadays, you can just directly mine Bitcoin if you have free electricity. It's almost like it's perfectly set up. And my father works at Solar Turbines, and he actually is a CMM inspector for gas turbine engines. So if I wrote a proposal and that's Solar Turbines, a Caterpillar company, and this is a long shot, but if I wrote a proposal for Caterpillar to get onto Telos and do some sort of magnetics research to build a prototype of one of these machines, I mean, we could get some really cool Elon Musk style, manufacturing going on. And Elon Musk needs new battery tech. And instead of batteries, we could replace that with the Searle effect generator. And then the Teslas would literally be flying around. There's a lot of footage. There's footage of the SEG and the machines he built. And some people say it's fake, but the truth is the machine exists. And it's like this machine with the rings and the rotors, and they spin. You've probably seen videos of it. It's been on Art Bell. The reason I'm talking about it, though, is because those people came to San Diego. John Searle, before he died in his 90s, came to San Diego. I hung out with these UFO people, the UFO conference circuit, back in like 2010, because I would go to the mountains with night vision goggles with Ed Grimsley, the UFO hunter guy. And I would also go with friends from History Channel. I actually almost got to meet Brian Forrester from Ancient Aliens when I went to Peru. And I almost got to go and be on the episode about Puma Punku, but I got sick and was in Ecuador. I didn't want to take the 12-hour bus ride. But I was almost on that episode. And my friends have been on the History Channel with this Freemason thing. My friend Greg Mastro is a Freemason, 33rd degree. And we would go out to the UFO Skywatchers. We had these night vision goggles. We would go to the exopolitics conventions. I'm not really into that stuff anymore, but because now it's like everybody's into aliens, it's ridiculous. Everybody's into sci-fi now and everything. But like back in 2010, it was a whole big thing where people were, looking at videos with night vision goggles. And we have some really cool videos. And some of it could just be satellites, but it's just really fun to go out to the mountains and shoot lasers up at the sky with third-gen military night vision. And it attracted all these UFO people and everything. So anyway, the Searle effect generator people came into that, and I learned about that. So that's just a little bonus. It's not really exactly to do with blockchain, but imagine if we funded scientific research in magnetics and actually created new motors, new battery tech, and maybe a Searle effect generator. Because they're the Searle effect generator people that came to San Diego. They had a facility in Spring Valley here in California, here in San Diego, but they ran out of funding. And my friend told me it's because the egos, butt heads, and it's like they got the Jesus complex because they thought, oh, my technology is going to save the world, so it didn't work out. But the tech's still there, and we could imagine if we had free energy tech, but that's just something else I like to. It's like the psychedelic thing. It's like UFOs, DMT, Joe Rogan. I like to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a Joe Rogan fan too, man. I just love all the we're in a really interesting time in history. That's a ton of crazy stuff going on, and we have full access to all of it through the internet. So it's
You
like,
got full access.
yeah, it's a
You
beautiful
got
time to
full
be a
access to
creative
AXA.
person. Yep. And you got some of the greatest minds in the world. You have access to them talking on podcasts. That's what the cool thing about Joe Rogan is. Like, you hear people that you would never get to hear their input. You'd never get to hear them just talk how they think. Like Elon Musk, a 2.5-hour interview with Elon Musk. Like,
Yeah, that was amazing.
yeah, that was amazing. What tripped me out about that is that guy seems like he is a robot. Like Joe Rogan would ask him a question, and then you'd see like he'd instantly have an answer, and then he'd give like a 5-second pause as he like sorted through all the best answers and how to say it, and then he'd like respond like in
You know why he answers like that?
fashion.
He's been programmed by the media, by social media, by his devices to do that, to answer questions like that.
Mm-hmm.
He has a pattern, like he just does it.
Yeah. It's crazy to see like how he thinks. Like, he's got the answer, but then he like wants to sift through all the different ways that he could give it to regular people so they can understand it. It's like watching a robot think or something. It's cool.
Dude, no, if you were a billionaire, you would have that dopamine so strong it would make you look like a robot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that what's going on? Just the
haven't you ever seen like even urban street hip hop people that all of a sudden become rich and they get real calm in their interviews? And
yeah,
it's what Jordan Peterson said about the wealthy people have more dopamine in their minds. So Bill Gates and Warren Buffett walk around with more dopamine.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I've never considered it like that. But yeah, I mean,
it's not that simple though. It's not that simple. There's probably crazy people who walk around with way more than them.
Yeah, well, nothing's real straightforward in the world, and yeah, that's for sure. Wow. Well, this has been, we've talked about so much, man. Let me kind of recap all the things you hit on, and then so that you have a chance to kind of think if there's any extra projects you want to throw in there, make sure you mention, because I know you got a lot of worker proposals going on.
No, I really appreciate this, helping me get all this sifted. Yeah,
absolutely.
I have Tourette's syndrome.
Yeah.
Tourette's syndrome, so it's hard for me to it's basically that what it is dopamine metabolism disorder. Mm-hmm. So I'm always like, I get really maybe I have more dopamine than most people, mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe it's hard. So I get really excited about these things. So I really do appreciate getting all this into one video.
Yeah, for sure. Everything that's going on. So we got data token, sand token, peg BTC on Nudex, the TipIt, Cash App, Telos P, Scottbot, Golos, Challenge DAC, like all those things going on. Is there any worker proposals that you have currently that we didn't talk about?
Well, there's a few smaller ones that astronomy token that I just have to put on the back burner for now, for maybe like till next month. But it's going to be touching on the academic thing I was talking about. I have this thing called subjects token. So, and then there's also, and basically it's just like a token for every subject. It's part of Teach. Maybe I should mention Teach, teachology.io. That's a project that Douglas Horn, the Telos co-founder and white paper author, he really likes that project. And I actually made a proposal for Teach to get him like $100 or so. And I just sent it all to him. And there's, it's like Teach token is, it would be like Kahoot app without the beautiful front end, but that's what I want to turn into, the Kahoot app. You ever seen the Kahoot app in schools? Okay, it's a quiz app for kids, and they all love it. And it's got like four colored squares, and it's got really cool 80s type 8-bit music in the background. And it's like, I don't know why kids really like it though. It's colorful. It's quizzes. You don't earn any money, but it's like it's for schools. But Teach is like a very robust quiz exam system for Telos. You go on to teachology.io, and I forget how to get to the app, but Mina from Egypt, he's a teacher, and he's developed this thing, and he needs more help on it, because he's got a whole system where you put in your account for Telos, you take exams, you take quizzes, and you get Teach tokens. So that's an old proposal that I had that I just gave Mina the Telos so he could use it to support the Teach token, so he could use it to support but he needs more support. And I'm basically going to do the subject token. So that's one of the proposals I had. astronomy token. So that was going to be just the start. I'm also going to maybe do biology token. You know, they're just going to be a token for every subject. Then I'm going to start. I know I'm not going to be the only one to do this, but I'm going to have a Telos University. I know that everybody's going to try to do this idea, but I'm going to at least try to start so other people can make a better one. But I'm going to actually have a VR chat Unity map. You know, you ever seen VR chat?
No.
Okay, it's just a game where you go, you put your Oculus on, and you can go and you have a Unity map, and all the teenagers are playing it. I mean, it's like
cool.
the young people are playing it. Maybe not teenagers, because maybe in their 20s, but they sound like teenagers. You know, the young people do the meme videos, Twitch streamers. They're playing VR chat. You go, you can have, basically we're going to have lecture halls. Okay, so they already have a few VR chat environments that look like a TV studio. One already kind of looks like a lecture hall. So we're going to have a real like lecture hall. You can go in and you're going to have seats and you're going to have a professor and there's going to be a screen. And if people misbehave, they just get booted. I mean, we're going to have a university. We can't build a real one, but we can build a virtual one. I could even scan in UC Santa Cruz campus and use that, because that's a really beautiful campus.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. It's crazy.
Imagine every room with VR chat, lecture hall, and then you get paid in Telos, because we already have TipIt on Twitch and Discord, and they are both in VR chat. I'm into, like Elon Musk does, like use existing pieces, man. You can go into VR chat right now and you can tip someone with Telos P, with Telos, with TipIt, because it's already in Twitch. And you can, in VR chat, open your Twitch. You like in the VR chat, you open your phone in VR and you can see your chat. So you can type .tip 1 Telos P and it'll send them Telos. So you could have strippers in VR chat and send them Telos. I mean, that's actually one of the projects I have called the ASS token, Adult Services System. That's Firstikin made this project, and I was helping him with that.
Firstikin's a legend, man. Yeah.
He made the asshole token, so I just said, okay, we're going to make this into the ASS system, the Adult Services System, and it's going to be on EOS, and yeah, it's going to be the first adult EOS token. Nobody's done it yet.
Man, how do you keep track of all of these things, and how do you keep giving
my
enough
wallet,
attention to each of them?
My wallet, all the tokens show up in my wallet, and I honestly look in the wallet and go, oh, there's that token I like. I'm going to go to that Discord. Oh, and the Discords. I set up a Discord. I set up the token on Steam Engine. Then if it's good enough, I pay to deploy it, because you got to pay some Telos or EOS RAM to deploy it onto EOS or Telos. But when I make a good token project idea, I make the Discord, the token on Steam Engine, the Telegram, and if it's really good, I buy a 1-in-1 domain for $1. And then I'll buy like a $12 a year. Actually, $12 a year, I got 5 WordPress packages. I mean, 1in1.com, it's way better than GoDaddy. You get crazy good packages. And if I can connect them with Telos and EOSio, we could have like a host. Okay, D-Store, I'm not even making this up. Like, this is actually shit I've talked about, stuff I've talked about. Like Douglas, I've actually talked to Douglas about hosting my WordPress site on D-Store. I don't like installing WordPresses. I like how 1-in-1 lets me click one button and it's a managed WordPress, right? You could go to 1-in-1 and say, host my WordPress on the blockchain with Telos, and have a little thing and it pays the Telos. I mean, we're that close. We could be hosting websites with D-Store with 1-in-1. Like, this would be like going to GoDaddy and being able to host your site on the blockchain. I mean, we're that close. Like, wow. That's real professional level website building tools that we can build now because of D-Store.
Okay. And how far along, how familiar are you with D-Store?
Well, as familiar as you can get with a secret project. It's not really out yet, but
so you probably can't talk too much about it. Huh?
I don't know. I don't know about it. I just don't know. But it's I know enough to know that it's going to be competing with Amazon Web Services, and that we could even have stuff like Google Docs and stuff with D-Store. That's what I thought it was at first. I thought it was like a PDF viewer for governments to sign documents and shit, but it wasn't that. It was like a full Amazon Web Services for hosting files.
Wow, that's next level, man. That's next level. Well, this has been a fantastic chat, man, and you've got a lot going on, and it's cool to get it out there. What I noticed about a lot of your projects is what you're doing is kind of altruistic. Like, you're finding good projects that have promise. You're writing worker proposals and then giving the money to the people who are building the projects. So, you're a vital asset and then you're building all your own stuff as well. So thank you, man. You make a lot of stuff move in Telos. So it's good to get this out there so that
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's cool to put a name to a face too, because I see Acct Sand in all of the everywhere on Telegram. So it's cool for people to actually see you too now. So yeah, what are your final thoughts for the people before we wrap it up?
Well, remember, altruism. Ayn Rand would say that, would say that altruism is not real, and that you should always be self-interested and have rational self-interest, because if you're altruistic, you'll just end up serving someone else's self-interest. So I'm just all about aligning those self-interests. But no, I do like to be altruistic. But
yeah. Well, I mean, clearly you've got it. You're doing this out of an entrepreneurial spirit, and
yeah, it's got to be self-sustaining. Like that,
I wish you the best of luck of becoming a multimillionaire with one of these projects eventually. But sometimes helping a lot of other people and being part of a lot of projects is, get your eggs in a bunch of baskets and see which basket gets giant,
Like that Silicon Valley show, you got to have your sea turtle eggs get to the ocean. Just got to let your money get to the ocean. You got to have a lot of sea turtle eggs.
Yeah, exactly. So you got a bunch of sea turtle eggs out there, man, and hopefully some of them hatch.
Make sure people don't be afraid to be altruistic and know that it's not okay. Mughat from Denmark, the Steemian.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at my old Steam post, you'll see the struggle I had, where first I was just wanting to help people in Africa, give them Steam stuff, because I was making so much Steam. But the other whales and dolphins would tell me, like, no, save your money. This is just a bull market. When it's all done, you won't be so happy that you gave away so much money. But I did it strategically in a way where I gave the money to people and invested in human capital, I guess. But I made a good reputation. I made good friends. People would come back and help me with upvotes. It really did work out. People can't just give away everything, though. I get that whole concept. But there is a way to be the self-interested entrepreneur and align your self-interest with everyone else. Okay, here's how I see it. I had early ideas to give everybody food. Okay, everybody got a smartphone, right? Initial phone offering, and then paid that money back with Steam rewards or social media Telos type a beneficiary reward. Then we could actually instead of giving everyone a phone, you look at it like this: you give everyone a tool to do business with you. It's like, imagine if you gave 7 billion people the tool to, and also I looked at 800 million people go to bed hungry every night, or that's what it was in like 2017. If those people are operating at a higher capacity, they could make money for you as employees. I mean, I just like to look at things like that to show people that, like, we have inefficiencies in this world, and the whole human suffering, that's a side effect. We shouldn't have to worry about human suffering. We should be more productive. Human suffering will just go away. Just like industrial, activity, it just pushes away the disease. It just melts away all the bad stuff, it seems. We just have to have more productivity, more industry, maybe it has to be cleaner, more Teslas on the road. But still, if people have the jobs, then people just make their own money. And, we got to get people buying houses and get that economic growth, and Telos can give us that governance. Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically just the whole thing about altruism, Ayn Rand, that whole thing. I do agree with the logical Vulcan ideas of, like, yeah, you have to be self-interested, but I do want to help people help themselves be more efficient for the whole planet, to have a better economy. It's not to help people, it's to help me, but they are going to be a help as a side effect. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Facebook's a great example and a real straightforward one. They provide a free service that's epic, and people fell in love with it, and it helped a bunch of people. And then Facebook did it for, selfish reasons, obviously, but they gave something away free for a long time, So, yeah.
And they got that secret CIA investment from the stock market plunge protection team.
Yeah, for sure. So what's that? What's that term that someone needs to Google if they're listening to this?
Oh, the plunge protection team and or quantitative easing. I mean, it's basically the government prints money and puts it in the stock
protection.
market.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, quantitative easing is probably the familiar term. Plunge protection team. I like that.
That's for that came out from the Bush administration. People were like, didn't know if it was like a shadow government rumor, but then one day it leaked and they had to announce it was real. It's a team that goes on stock market every day at the end of the fucking market day and pumps the market up to make sure it doesn't plunge.
Interesting.
Literally, it's a pump team. It's like it's crazy how this stuff in crypto has already been going on in stocks forever. And like, we have to just like learn from these trading masters. And
oh yeah, but dude, this isn't a new game, dude. You gotta go read that Jesse Livermore life story of Jesse Livermore and come apply that into the crypto markets. There's some gangsters out there who are making big moves for sure.
they're like reincarnations of like old stock traders. Like the Charles Ponzi is probably back here at reincarnated doing his BitConnect. Oh, dude, that's the thing. You know, Charles Ponzi made his Ponzi scheme with stamps, right?
Oh, really? No,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he had his deal where he was going to get stamps really cheap, but like the deal obviously couldn't sustain how many people he was trying to pay out. So I have this idea to use the Telos NFC stickers from EOS Amsterdam and put those onto real stamps. And then we can bring the U.S. Postal Service into Telos with a public domain blockchain for the Postal Service physical addresses for your private keys.
Dude,
NFC stamps. Scan the stamp and
you're gonna end up in a dark room somewhere that they're gonna be mining your ideas. They're gonna be mining your ideas, and you're just gonna be in there just stringing out long.
I'm already in the room, bro.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This is the home base right there, huh? The control center, command center.
Yeah, man, I'm already in the dark room, and dude, I'm in San Diego. It's a military base. We got aircraft carriers. We got like. Okay, this is like CIA headquarters, okay?
Yeah.
This is my friend Kevin Lyons would always tell me that this is like and he had like a family, his dad was in CIA and stuff. And he'd always tell me, this is the CIA eugenics program. The hot women, like the hot Latino women and stuff, and the Filipino women, they come to San Diego and they breed with all like the Navy guys and like the admirals and all the business guys and the tech guys and the Gateway and Qualcomm. And we got Qualcomm here, dude. When Qualcomm blew up, everybody in San Diego, like all the news reports were like, everybody's getting rich off the stock. And it was like our little 90s, at least I remember that when I was a kid. It was like our ship had sailed, It was like San Diego's going up. We developed 2G chips, because Qualcomm made the CDMA chips, I think, right? They made the 2G and the 3G. And so we get Qualcomm into Telos. That's how we do it, man. Just think big, like that Indian billionaire that said the biggest VCs want to fund billion-dollar ideas. They don't want to fund small ideas. The guy who said that he's going to take a rocket to the moon, take moon rocks and sell them like new diamonds, polish them up, and be like, here, you can give your woman the moon. Why give her a diamond? You can give her the moon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, we got to think of big ideas. Idea? Yeah, that guy was interviewed by what was it? One of those entrepreneur YouTube videos, and the idea to bring a moon rocket to the moon. The drone comes back with rocks, and that was the point of like, you got to think big. You got to think big with your ideas, and basically we got to go to AT&T. Fuck IBM. They think they're going to do it on their own. And fuck Google. Google will eventually use our tools for D-Store. But we got to go to like companies like Yahoo that have been left out. We got to go to big companies like AT&T and Qualcomm, and also local Evo Nexus. They're a local incubator, and my friend, I won't say which one, but he's in a certain secret society, and he actually is, and he's like a high degree Mason, and he's got like connection to Evo Nexus, and they're the $1 billion incubator that funded billions of dollars worth of projects, and they've got like Blizzard and Sony guys. So basically, I can get connected with those Evo Nexus people, even if they don't fund what we're talking about. I can just blast them with emails. I can just pester them. We can, they're probably not going to talk to me, but I could probably get them to talk to one of my other friends that maybe has a suit and has better connections. The point is, we just focus our energy like a cannon of people, just sending the emails, the texts, and we could eventually get these local big incubators to come look at Telos, and also Nudex. That's the other big thing. I can't talk about it, but there's some big things with Nudex, dude, which will affect Telos because we're on Nudex. But yeah, anyway, I'll let you cut this off now. But as you can see, I'm very excited about this, and I'll tell you more about the secret plan to build a CIA Intellipedia on Telos. That's what we're doing, right? You ever heard of Intellipedia?
No. I want to hear about it. Tell me.
Oh, well, Intellipedia, it's like the Wikipedia for the CIA, and if you look it up, everyone's like, oh, it's not that good, and oh, it didn't really work, and yeah, right. It's like the front end for the public. There's obviously all sorts of secret apps that the intelligence community has, and imagine the fun apps they use to look at people's dossiers, and they definitely need to fund our project. That's how Oracle got started, a CIA contract with like billions of dollars to make a database. People think it's like conspiracy theories, but no, it's just big business.
Yeah.
big public sector industries that need software, and we're gonna get the contracts. Like Halliburton, no bid contracts, bro.
Yeah, Cadena just finally launched their blockchain, which is JP Morgan. Basically, JP Morgan just launched their public-private blockchain. I think just recently. I saw that in the news. They've been going since 2017. They started though. So yeah, all these big companies, governments, everyone's deep in the blockchain, whether they put it out there or not.
Yeah, they won't admit it, but they definitely are. Yeah. But let's go to Yahoo. Remember Excite.com? Remember Lycos?
Mm-hmm.
We could build really fun online Telegram, Discord game bots. I mean, remember all the fun games people were playing with Excite.com and Lycos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to get all that with Discord. With we got the Void system, the Void Onesis. Those guys were talking to Telos. And they have a system for they want to have scatter game leadership boards. So you go into Discord, you see your leadership. All that. Yeah, man, I could go on forever. But yeah, the big money is in the public sector, and I used to resist that and say that we don't want to. That's tax money, that's tax stolen money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's going to get to it, so we got to get those. And Douglas was talking about e-government, and he kind of hinted to me that I had stumbled upon some things talking about government contracts, and he told me he said some stuff like, "How'd you know that?" And are you you're close, stuff like that. I'm getting warm talking about government contracts, and he was on stage with the Intel and the FBI guys. Remember that? Yep,
that was just and he was on the that was just recently at the Bay
Santa
Area.
Barbara.
Yeah. Oh, Santa Barbara. Yeah, I just was at one in Silicon Valley where he was on stage with a guy from the FBI. So
yes, that was Santa Clarita. Yeah, I think he went right after there to the Santa Clarita one from Santa Barbara.
Yeah, Santa Clara. Yep.
And when he was at the Santa Barbara one, he made a post on Telos on app.telos.net. You can make a group. You can create a ballot. I was going to show you, but whatever. You can go to app.telos.net. You can see it. It's it looks unfinished, like he was just showing a demo, but you can create ballots. You can create little classroom voting things. I mean, it's almost like so much that nobody is appreciating. It's too much stuff at once. We really need more marketing. Oh, and we need more than one Telegram. So that one Telegram, it's going to be a bottleneck of information. People coming in. There's only one Telegram for Telos. So we got to start using Telos now. We got to start using the Telos DAP one. We got to start using the Telos Works and all that. Got to change that logo. But dude, for your viewers, anybody that is watching, just come to one of the Telos Discords or the Telos Telegram, and I'll send you a Telos token. Mm-hmm. And I can also send them sand, and I think I can give them a Telos P, Telos pegged from TipIt or Twitter. So yeah, all they need to do is, I guess, I don't know if you have a Telegram or Discord, if they just want them to come in to Hello Telos, I guess they could just go to Telegram Hello Telos.
Yeah. What about the Telos community channel?
Which one's that?
Just the main community channel?
Yeah, isn't that Hello Telos?
Oh, Hello Telos. Okay, yeah. So come in there, drop you a note at Access and ask for tokens.
Tell them that they have to they have to at least give me a sentence proving they watched some part of the interview.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there it is. You just
ask
told
a question. Yeah, they have to ask a question about the interview or one of the tokens, or about Telos and Steem, or about the airdrop or any of those things. Because there's going to be an airdrop for Steemians. All going to get one Telos. So that's
fantastic. Good. Okay. Well, you heard it here first. You're listening to this podcast. So if you listened this far, you're a true gangster. And all you have to do is go into the chat and ask a question to Zach about the podcast, and you'll get hooked up with a bunch of tokens.
Yep.
That's rad.
At least one Telos and some others. But yeah, all right, I'll let you guys go. And this is an interactive podcast where you'll get tokens if you watch, basically. Yeah.
Dude, we're going big, man. That was a great interview. And for today, that is the Telos podcast, my friends. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
All right, see you later.
The money is not the prime asset in life. Time is.